Hi guys, this week's video is about starting again in somewhere different. Don't know if you've ever done that yourself, move somewhere different, whether it be a new house, a new flat, changing school, changing jobs. For my case, it was moving to a new city. Now you're probably wondering, well, didn't you do something similar already? Yes, except I'd moved from a city to a town. And this time, I'm moving from a town to a city. You're probably wondering what city. I will explain that in this video. It's going to take a lot of bravery, a lot of courage, a lot of risk. But I always believe that's what life's about.
So yeah, by the time my contract was up in the accommodation in Weymouth, I decided, you know what, maybe a town isn't for me. I realized I'm actually a city boy. In a sense, there's just more things to do, more people, more variations of people. What I mean by that is just different types of people, different cultures, different backgrounds. Don't get me wrong, the town is nice. It's peaceful, quiet, things are very local, but there wasn't that much to do. So I decided to pick a city where there was a lot going on, and I picked Manchester, which is fairly in the middle of the UK itself. So on the last day, I decided to have a wee walk around in Weymouth town centre along the beach just for one last time to feel the town. And after that, I walked back to the bungalow accommodation, packed up everything I had. I didn't have very much. I had a couple of suitcases, a few bags, a rucksack, and that was pretty much it. And said goodbye to my flatmate and Polly, the landlord. So yes, packed up everything in the car and had the long drive to Manchester. So it was a nice drive through the country roads, lots of greenery on the way, and I eventually hit the motorway, and I had to have a break because this in total was a 4-hour drive essentially from Weymouth to Manchester. So I had a stop at a service station. While at the service station, I basically grabbed some snacks, lunch, and something cool to drink as well. Of course, I had to use the toilet as well. Don't know about you, but I just can't seem to hold my bladder, especially if I drink coffee in the morning. Any caffeine in the morning will get me in the toilet for sure. But yeah, it was a nice break in the service station for sure. Definitely needed it. There's a lot of shops actually. It had Burger King, you know, bakeries like Greg's, W.H. Smith, and even M&S as well. So there's a lot of options there. They had other restaurants that I've never heard of there, but it was nice. So I decided to refuel the car just because I was running very short and got back on the road. By the time I got back on the road, 30 minutes into the drive, it got really dark. I mean, the clouds suddenly got really grey and then almost black. The rain was holding off though. And then by the time I know it, it was almost evening time. And I got to Manchester in the evening around 6:30. And yeah, it was near enough dark. So by the time I got to the area where I was going to stay in Manchester, it was pretty much dark. It was very busy though, the street. Had a lot of cars parked on the side, so it was a wee bit tight to get through the street itself. And when I got to the area that I was meant to be staying in, I eventually got out of the car and just knocked on the door just to see if anyone was in to start off with. Annoyingly, no one was in. So I messaged the landlord just to say, hi, just to let you know that I'm here at the accommodation. Can you let me in? But he actually said, oh, sorry, apologies, but your roommate is out going on a night out. So that was a bit of a bummer. After that, I decided to kill some time, basically. So I drove off to McDonald's around the area. I had some McDonald's, got a text back from the landlord just to let me know that my flatmate will be back in around an hour's time. So yeah, just killed some times in McDonald's basically. Had some food, walked around. Next to McDonald's, they had a supermarket. Walked around there just to kill some time. By this time, it was around 8 o'clock, and at this time, I was really tired. You know, after all the driving and just waiting around, yeah, I was a bit exhausted. Couldn't wait to just rest in my new place. So it was around 8:30 when I got to the new place and knocked on the door, finally met my new flatmate. Seems like a nice guy. Spoke to him. His name is Gui, and he's from Portugal. And we just talked for a little bit, introduced ourselves, what we were doing around the area, what we worked as. And that's for another video. I actually found new work in Manchester. That's one of the reasons I moved as well. So, yeah, when I got there, unloaded everything, that made me even more tired. And by the time everything was settled, unpacked into my new room, which was based on the ground floor of this terraced house, it was around 10 o'clock, and I basically just dropped into the bed and rested. What have I learned during this experience? Well, it's important to obviously get yourself energized in the morning, well rested, of course, hydrated, and prepare for the journey, basically. Ideally, maybe pick a halfway point to rest, like a service station, and grab snacks, grab food, as much as you can do around the service station. Rest, even if you need it. Toilet break, of course. And most importantly, actually think you should message the person who you're traveling to visit, or in my case, to the landlord, to communicate with him. that I will be around a certain time period. That was my mistake. I hadn't messaged him basically at the halfway point when I was at the surface station. I basically got there quite late. The landlord was actually... Anyways, folks, here's a couple of pictures of my room. Initially, I thought it was okay, but there are some strange things to see in this room. I'll mention that in the next video. And here's another image of the street of where I moved into. Basically, this place was called Hartington Street in Manchester. Again, I thought it was okay. Very crammed though. I had to park my car literally between cars by the inches, basically. But anyways, yeah. So that's my takeaway from learning this experience, travelling from a town to a new city of Manchester. Until next time, have a good one. And yeah, life's about trying new things. And here we are, trying a new city. Let's see how it goes in this new city.